With everything going on today in the housing market, interest rates are a super hot topic. They've increased so much from pre-COVID times. Pre-COVID times? Yeah, it's a thing now, like medieval times, just with less jousting and dragons or something. Sorry, I digress. Okay, it's late 2023, post-COVID, and nobody seems to know if rates are going to continue to climb, if they're going to sit still or go down. Not even this guy, or her, or this guy. Oh, me, yeah. I really have no clue, and that's why we brought in mortgage expert Ruth Young of Superior National Bank to the Real Estate Matters studio in overcast, Lake Orion to learn more about what homeowners are facing today. Let's take a look. With Ruth Young from Superior National Bank, and she is gonna, I think, bring the heat and help us understand mortgages better. So welcome, Ruth. Super excited to have you. How did mortgages become something that you actually are excited to talk about?
Oh gosh, you know what? I have been in the mortgage industry for 35 years, and I just kind of accidentally fell into it, but it is my true passion. I absolutely love helping buyers achieve their dream of purchasing their first home, all the way, so working with first-time buyers all the way up to people upgrading to their dream home or retiring and buying a second home.
What does it look like to work with you? What is that process?
Well, I have a very targeted approach from start to finish with my first-time home buyers, and with actually any buyer. So it starts with a solid pre-approval. Make sure they're qualified for the house they want to buy. You have no idea how many times I take over buyers from other lenders that think they're qualified for a house. They secure a house, and then they find out they actually aren't qualified because the other lender didn't do the homework up front. Right now, the industry has just gotten tougher and tougher, and the guidelines have gotten stricter and stricter. Employment has changed for a lot of people out there, where they have varying hours that they work now and varying income and just all sorts of different issues that we deal with buyers now. You really have to be detailed and know your programs, have the experience, and actually take the time that it takes, invest the right amount of time into those buyers to actually make sure when you pre-approve them that they really are pre-approved. So it's a bit of a process.
I remember when we got pre-approved for our first mortgage, I feel like I didn't really even provide that much information, and we got pre-approved, so we were like, okay, we're good for this. I would have not had any idea, to know how to know whether or not our pre-approval was solid. How would one know?
Usually, realtors will recommend you to someone that they trust. So don't go online, don't go on the internet, don't follow recommendations from your realtor or friends or family that have had a successful transaction. Make sure you're working with a professional. A lot of buyers come in with a preconceived idea of what they want to spend on a house, but oftentimes that's unrealistic. So getting them into a realistic price, whether it's increasing their price range because they want to buy a $300,000 house, but in their mind they think they want to spend $220,000 on it. Yeah. So getting them to a realistic place, or sometimes lowering their price a little bit so it's realistic and fits within what they actually qualify for. But just taking the time to make sure it's done right. Once that's been achieved and they are pre-approved, I literally virtually house hunt with my clients. So as they're looking at properties that they're interested in, I'm running payments for them, I'm calculating property taxes, I'm figuring out their cash to close so that they know what they're looking at when they're ready to write an offer.
I mean, it's pretty easy to go on a website and just plug in the numbers. What's your opinion on that?
Well, when you plug things in to the internet and it pops out a number that's never accurate. There is such a variance from city to city and township to township on even property taxes. And a lot of homes, if they've been owned for a long time by the current owner, their taxes are going to double and triple once you buy it. So unless you're really taking the time to look up the tax rates for each city that you're looking at where the taxes are and where they're going to go to once you purchase the home, and checking the interest rates, because the rates have fluctuated drastically. So checking on what the actual rate is for that day, calculating the taxes, calculating the rate. There could be a variance of sometimes $200 or $300 in a payment. So you don't want to leave that to chance.
Yeah, that's really good. The whole industry seems to have changed quite a bit in the last few years, and a lot. Just in even the past few months. Bring us up to speed. Like, where are things at? Should people just avoid buying homes or refinancing or any of that right now?
Definitely do not avoid buying homes, or most people are not refinancing unless they really need to. I do have quite a few people I'm working with to refinance for so they can buy investment properties. So there are reasons to refinance, or sometimes life circumstances like a death or a divorce, things like that, where they do need to refinance. I do have refinance clients for those purposes, but to lower a rate, no one's doing that right now. The industry has changed. Rates have gone up drastically. It's a huge difference in the monthly payment from where it was 2 years ago to where it is now. I have for decades educated buyers on the cost benefits of owning a home versus renting. So I go through a calculation like that and show them truly how much further ahead they would be in 3 years or 5 years if they become a homeowner versus continuing to rent. So even with rates having gone up, it's definitely beneficial to purchase a home.
Yeah, so the market is tight. We know that. It's so wonky right now. What would you say some of the biggest challenges are for buyers today?
Well, number one is qualifying, especially with increased interest rates. So some buyers are qualifying for less than they would have if the rates were still, a few percentage points lower. So that impacts what they qualify for in some cases. But also there is a real housing shortage. There's a real shortage of listings. So when a nice house hits the market, there's multiple offers. So buyers are competing against each other to win that property. That's probably the toughest thing that buyers face. And that's where someone like me comes in. Again, as I said, I have a very targeted approach to working with my clients that goes to the time to write an offer. So when they are ready to write an offer, I collaborate with them and their realtor, and even the listing realtor. I'll call the listing realtor, get as much information as I can on what's happening with the property and what other offers they have, so that we can craft an offer that actually stands a chance of winning. And I've got all sorts of tricks that I use to help these buyers, bring their very best, which would be, offering over list price, escalation clauses, which means offering, willing to escalate their offer price to even higher if necessary, up to a certain point, appraisal guarantees, larger earnest money deposits, free occupancy to the seller. So anything and everything it takes to pull out all the stops and write a strong offer, I'm working with the buyer and their realtor to come up with. You
are really able to be a strategic advisor to your clients. I love that.
Absolutely. I just took over a client in the last couple of months that lost out on 11 houses. And then they switched to me. They finally listened to the realtor and switched to me, and they secured their first home with me. Wow. By just utilizing my experience, my advice on how to write the offer, my communication with the listing agent, and just everything and anything that we could do to get that house secured for them.
How do you work with somebody in that situation where there's like real-time decisions or real-time numbers that are needed? Like, how would you navigate somebody through that kind of a situation?
Well, the busiest time of my job is usually from Friday afternoon till Sunday night. And I spend, and I spend, that period of time, or any time, whether it's a Monday night or whatever, working with buyers and helping them as they go into bidding wars. So oftentimes they'll find a house and they'll write an offer. We might get the first offer written, but then they find out all of a sudden, final and best offers are due within 48 hours. So now we're revisiting things on a Sunday afternoon before they come up with their final and best. And I'm calling the listing agent, seeing what information I can get from the listing agent. Just everything and anything I can do to help my buyer be successful. Then we restructure offers, so it happens very frequently that I'm restructuring offers with my buyer, and we're doing 3-way calls with them and their realtor, and they're winning. They're winning their offers that way.
All right. Well, any best advice as we're wrapping up here? Any final thoughts for a buyer, like what he or she should do?
A lot of buyers that I work with get discouraged and say, you know what, I'm just going to wait till next year to buy. I recommend that you stay in the market and you keep looking and you hang in there. I have never, in all the years I've done mortgages, I've never seen a buyer happy that they waited, because the prices just keep going up. If you never know if you're going to find a house until you look. So you may, not find a house for 6 months, but you're definitely not going to find a house if you just get out of the market. When the house comes along and you secure that property, even if rates are a little higher right now, you have the house. That's the starting point. Then we're ready to refinance when rates come back down. But you're not going to get anywhere if you give up. So stay tough, stay strong, keep putting in the offers, keep looking, and the right house always does come along for every buyer I've ever worked with.
Yeah, I love that idea. Just rely on the experts to help guide you. Nobody's going to force you to buy anything that you don't want to buy, but getting informed decisions from people who've been doing this work for a long time to at least say, it's a good time now, or you should pump the brakes and just wait a little while, versus staying in my head and just thinking okay, I'll just wait till my credit score gets up to here, or I get this bump in my pay, and then I'll be ready. But somebody like you might say yeah, you do need to wait, or you need to move on it now because XYZ. I think it's super, super smart.
Yeah. Most consumers have no clue how to improve their credit even. So what their thought process is on how to improve credit and what it really would take to improve credit are two different things. So you could be spinning your wheels in the total wrong direction, as opposed to having a conversation with me and, then having a plan of action in place.
Love that. Super good information. Love hanging out with you, Ruth. Ruth Young from Superior National Bank. Thanks for joining us, and we'll see you next time.
Awesome. Thank you.
All right, it was super fun spending time with Ruth in the studio. I seriously learned a lot, which might not be saying that much. My biggest takeaway is that there really is no perfect time to meet with a trusted mortgage broker or banker to see where you're at. You can get more information about Ruth and Superior National Bank in the description below, or on your favorite social channel and our website, rematters.tv. And hey, if you're interested in coming on the show to share your own expertise, shoot us a quick email to casting@rematters.tv. That's it for now. I'll see you next time.